where he was so proud, like he thought he was better than everyone. Like, hey, I'm white now. You know, he had that look, he had that air about him. His nose was up. And he had this air of smugness about him. And I just looked at him like, bro, that's dope that, you know, you feel so proud of someone you're with, but because of her race, like how goofy does that make you look? You know what I mean? If you find someone that you love and you're so proud of that, or someone that you just click with, your soulmate, whatever that is, right? Good for you. Good on you. Enjoy that. If you're in love and all this, that's fine. But as a status in academics, in business, as an entrepreneur, as an athlete, as an entertainer in Asian American society, we're reminded. They won't forget to remind of what they think of us.
And we need to remind them. Why not Twinkie? Why not banana? Why Juksing?
And what does Juksing mean for those of those? What does it mean?
Juksing means dry bamboo. Means it's yellow on the outside, white on the inside. What it also means, what the ancestors is telling us is this. No matter who you think you are, how white you are, they will always see your skin as a bamboo. You will always be Chinese to them.
Oh,
that's the other analogy.
So don't kid yourself. You will always be Chinese to them first.
Lucky Boys Podcast.
If you look at the bigger picture, we talk about how to get out of poverty, right? For Chinese Americans in particular, you know, I don't want to speak for other Asians because I know my company best. Education. Education is the way out. That's how I got out. That's how a lot of people got out, right? But yet, in our own system, we're being shamed to be good in school. We're getting attacked, right? This whole SHSAT stuff, right? No one want to talk about the reality is, it's not about us versus them. It's about people who say, this is my way out, my ticket out of poverty is not to depend on government, but depend on education. This country will give me a fair shot if I get education to my kids. It's a very simple formula. It have worked for generations, and that's what they believe still is the case. It might not be anymore, but that's what they believe it is. But if that's the one thing that they have, but yet society keeps shunning them, keeps shaming them, calling them test robots, calling them all kinds of names.
Or worse, take the whole test away.
Right?
They're taking the whole program away.
So I think that's the difference. Different company group have different ways to deal with different problems. You know, I mean, like, why did they say Juksing? Our ancestors get this shit right. Why not Twinkie? Why not banana? Why Juksing?
And what does Juksing mean for those of those? What does it mean?
Means dry bamboo. Means it's yellow on the outside, white on the inside. What it also means, what the ancestors is telling us is this. No matter who you think you are, how white you are, they will always see your skin as a bamboo. You will always be Chinese to them.
Oh,
that's the other analogy.
So don't kid yourself. You will always be Chinese to them first, right?
Yo.
So we don't learn those lessons.
Is that?
That's why it's
my
called
uncle
Juksing.
said that to my cousin, and
Right.
she was a graduate from Harvard with a PhD.
Right.
You can still be a graduate from Harvard with a PhD, but you're still gonna be a Chinaman.
All right. So Jokka, then they said the 2N is like if you're not born in this country, you have it worse because you don't really understand the American. They would not even accept you as an American. Period. They would see you Chinese. Period. But you didn't understand that way, and you don't have enough knowledge to understand the Chinese way. So you are stuck. The cock is the end of the dry bamboo.
The knot.
The two, because bamboos are compartmentized. So that means that you're not getting through either way. New immigrants, you get your shit even worse, is what they try to tell you. Because you're not getting through either way.
You think you are, but you're not.
But you are not. No matter how white you think you are, it doesn't matter.
You know what? I have a few friends that are in the entertainment industry. And I would say a year and a half ago, as recent as a year and a half to 2 years, what they were saying to me was, Will, we're finally got our foot in the door in Hollywood. right? We feel like we're getting the representation. We're getting our movies. We're getting our story told. Coronavirus hits. And then the reality hits. And then they tell me, yo, they hate us, Will. It's like, I felt like we were so close. And now that you mentioned what you just did, I'm going, was it all an illusion? Did you think we got a ticket onto their level of the boat? You know, where we're working our way out of the bottom. We're finally there and we're right next to them. Think again. Because what this has shown to us,
Always a dry bamboo.
we may think we're out of it. We may think that we're in their club now, in this exclusive club where people praise and want and been dreaming of their whole life. And I know that there's Asians out there like that who, even Asian guys, like if they had a white girlfriend, they were just so they look so goofy in these pictures because they look so proud that they had this white girlfriend. And I remember I even had one of my friends, he dated a white girl. I think it was like prom or one of those things, right? And he brought a white girlfriend, and she was okay, mid-range. You know, it wasn't like off the charts supermodel, but she was okay. She was a looker. And the way he held her so tightly, and it just looked goofy as fuck. You know, the way he was so proud, like he thought he was better than everyone. Like, hey, I'm white now. You know, he had that look, he had that air about him. His nose was up. And he had this air of smugness about him. And I just looked at him like, bro, that's dope that, you know, you feel so proud of someone you're with, but because of her race, like how goofy does that make you look? You know what I mean? If you find someone that you love and you're so proud of that, or someone that you just click with, your soulmate, whatever that is, right? Good for you. Good on you. Enjoy that. If you're in love and all this, that's fine. But as a status?
No, my step-grandmother is a white woman. All right.
And you're married to a white woman.
Right. My son was a white woman.
But I didn't need to do what, because a lot of them basically, believe it or not, are usually in academia. High academia, all the Ivy ghettos, that's where they would go find them because of that.
So what I learned from that splendid family is just simple love. My grandfather loved my grandmother just like the way she loved her. You know, she was a custodian on Baxter Street, and my grandfather's a machinist. After work, they met up and they care for each other. That's what it is. Two people without their family and they came together. It's all about love. So, you know, all these things, I'm like, have we regressed? You know, what the hell's happening now? Right? So for me, you know, it's kind of weird because, but net, the one thing, you know, we started with Corky. Let's talk about Corky. One of the project I worked with them was what the people were cooking for the railroad when they were building the railroad. And through that research, I came across this one gentleman. His name escapes me now, but it was in the early 1900s, 18 something. So he's an immigrant, went to California. He worked his way up, and one day he run his own store. The farms, they were beating the crap out of the Mexicans. Remember, California used to be Mexico. So they chased them out. And this Mexican farmer says, why don't you buy my land? So he goes, all right, I'll get the land. And then when it happened was, they said, well, you know, you're Chinese. You're not allowed to own land in this country at that time, right? So he goes, well, my sweetheart is born in the USA. So he marries her, goes to court and say, great, now my wife can register all those land. Well, they said, oh, did you just say you marry him? Well, because he's an immigrant, you just lost your citizenship even though you were born in the USA. So what he said was, in his quote, he says, government and things can take things away from you. The only thing they cannot take away is what's in your brain. And that's why he devoted to making sure people get educated. Education is the only thing that government cannot take away from you. If we want to talk about Chinese American history, for me, those are the ones that you want to talk about. Not the chop suey, not those tired bullshit that we hear about. to feed the white people, to feed other people's needs, to make us feel inferior. But talk about this man who said, hey, I did not give up. They're taking everything I ever owned from me, but they cannot take away what's in my brain, which is education. And I'm going to devote everyone getting education. So
be proud of who you are. And if you're smart, don't be ashamed of that, right?
Don't be.
If that's your superpower.
It's important because that 14th Amendment, to understand the fact that the person that you are, that's my favorite word, the person that you are gave us everything what we have today. That 14th Amendment did us justice. And you have to understand that to articulate what the word person, we are a person that put us where we are right now. And if you don't know the law, the education did not permit you to understand the law.
Yeah.
And, it sounds funny sometimes. I always tell some guys that you have to learn how to fight that way.
It's like no matter how much, what tough road we've gone through and how accomplished we feel, whether in academics, in business, as an entrepreneur, as an athlete, as an entertainer in Asian American society, we're reminded. They won't forget to remind of what they think of us.
And we need to remind them, we did not get the education to make ourselves just better. Yeah, like all immigrants in this country, we all come to make a better life. But the reality is, through that, we also help build a stronger country.